Okay, I'm making this video to show you how I've updated this file where you just read different currencies in. Now, I hope the sound of this is working okay. I lost my headphones yesterday. I'll find them, I hope. Now, the idea here is that you can just pick different currencies. And well, I'm gonna redo it kind of. You pick little different currencies, and after you pick the currencies, you just click on the button, and it goes to the website and puts all your currencies together. Now, I already made a video on this, but the video I made is with the list box. It just finished. It just gave you the currencies, and it just did all that for you. And all I'm doing here is showing you how to use the file. You can look at the VBA code, or of course look at it in the file. It's not that complicated. Maybe I'll discuss it for just a minute. The key point is here that I feel bad. When I did this last time, I showed it to you with a list box, and that list box, it makes Excel crash. I was going crazy, and I was thinking, oh no, this list box is like now one of my favorite things. It was one of my favorite things with a multi, what you call it, a multi-output or whatever they called it on a list box, and I thought that was such a fantastic thing. And maybe it's not. Maybe it's better to just use the true falses that I made another video on just a little while ago, so I'm going to try not to repeat it. You just put a little true false next to it. You go to the developer tab, and you get a little true false switch, okay, and then you just make your big long list box. And in this case, this list box was, I don't know. There must have been some list I got. I forgot. Oops. Where is this? It's got about 168. Not about. It's got 168 different currencies. Now, this has a couple of other things in it. Okay. So if you want to set all of these things to false, what you do is you make a range name out of this. So right now this range name is called simply true false. Okay, and then in the range name, you go to the macro and you do two little things in the range name. I didn't even name this thing. You make a loop that goes through the count. And then once you go through the count, next to the range, you put the dot cells. Notice how it goes from 1 to 2 to 3. That's just the row number, but that's inside the range, so it's the cells within the range, and you just set that, and we've only got one column, so you simply set it to false. It takes 1 minute to do. It really does. Okay, and then once you have all of these, I'll set it to false, and then once you have, let's just get the euro and the Swiss franc. Oh, my Swiss mother, I loved it. And then let's get the Armenian. Armenia was a wonderful place too. Okay, so, that's what I did last time, I think. Is it really? Well, we better get Algerian, and we can't get Azerbaijan because they were fighting too much with Armenia. Okay, Bahraini. Okay, so we get Bahraini dinar. I assume that's like the rest of them. All right, and then it has how many did we get? 5. We got 5. And here's what you do. You just, next to the true false, you make a counter. And you start the counter with the first one. That's a little tricky. You just take that false or true, multiply it by 1. That gives you 1 or 0. And then on the next one, you take the last number you went up to and add the next true or false. And of course, that only adds it when it's true. And then the match works. The match, if you put a match and a 0, it only finds the first one. So after we make this little counter, then this is just Alt-EIS. Alt-EIS, enter. And when you then go and find the euro, you first make a match you make a match of this one against these, and it finds that this is in row number 10. And then you make an index to get whatever is in row number 10, and then you get this. And then we use a match index on these things as well. Now, what did I just do? Did I just delete that somehow? Oh, that's bad. I don't want to delete that, actually. Okay. Now, once you've done that, okay, we just, then the VBA code works. This is reading all of them, but you first have to read one, so it first, it goes through and gets whatever you put. Here's the first part of the URL. Now, I have to take a break for this. If you go here and you go to data and get from sources, and you get from, ooh, this was different. Oh no, what happened here? Just a minute. Or if we get from the web, you can do this. Oh, it's got a picture of Trump. Get that off here. Where's the one that? Just a minute. It's a stupid thing. You can see I don't do this. You can put this in a macro even, but that is hard to work. If you go to new query and go to from the web, it gives you this kind of thing. Okay, just a minute, and then you put the URL in. But this is almost useless. It's almost useless because you can't manipulate the websites yourself. And what this is doing, of course, is just taking this blank first part of the URL and then adding the number here. And this time we went from number 1 to 5, I hope. Okay, I didn't, well, I have to redo it, okay, and then we'll go from 1 to 5 now. So what it's doing is each time it's changing that. Now if you use the that thing that does it by hand, and if you don't do it with a macro, you got nothing. You got nothing at all. And now it just finished it for us. We went through 1 to 5. So this process of going to VBA and then going and getting the URL name first, and then it opens it in a new workbook, this wonderful workbooks.open that I still have looked at alternative ways and I can't figure out a better way to do it. And then you go down and you find where it matches one USD. So you're always comparing USD to the currencies and all that. And then once you find the row number, you just copy that row number. It looks like a long program. It really does look almost too long, but it's not that hard. All you're doing is copying it to, I said just to row 200. And then once you have it, you just go around. This is reading one currency, and you go around and read them for all of them. And the key thing, one of the key things here is that you get there's some little count where I have the total currencies. That's a range name, not range.count. That's just a range. And so that says there are 5 currencies. That was this range right here. It's this cell, right? It's this cell that says total currencies. And it's simply the maximum of that row, or column, sorry. Okay? Now, then once you get that, now I just want to show you something quickly in Power BI. In Power BI, you can get data and you do almost the same thing. It says get it from a oh no, not a text file. Get it from online. Just a minute. Oh. Okay, sorry about that. It says, I'm sorry about whining too. Oh my gosh, how embarrassing. You go down to get data and go to the web. And when it says go to the web, you go to the, it has the same thing. But notice you can't manipulate the URL. I don't see how you could do something to manipulate the URL. Maybe somebody will tell me I'm wrong, that you can somehow do this, but I really cannot see how you could do this without making some kind of VBA code. I cannot see how you could do that. So that part of all of the stuff, all of this issues of reading many different URLs in, I do not think has been made obsolete in any way, shape, or form. In fact, it's almost more necessary to do that, because what you can do is read all the data in yourself, and then once you read all the data in yourself, then you can once you read all the data in yourself, then you can put that in different sheets, and then you can probably do a lot with Power BI. So we'll talk about that in another video. I hope I'm not yelling too loud. I hope I didn't just break your ears just now. All right, so that's the update. And finally, this should hopefully be simple now. But if you're making conditional formatting, which is a nice thing, isn't it? You go here and you go down and you go to Home and you go to Conditional Formatting, and then you make a new rule, or I'm just going to manage the rules here. And this time the rule says take whatever in the $sign is just on the column, not on the row, on the column. And I had to go up to E8. I had to go up to the top to get that, and I didn't really have to put equals true. And then we just go to format. So you have to select the area and just put a little test in. And I think that's pretty good. That makes it almost a little better than a list box. I almost think this method is nicer than the list box. The only problem with it is it's a real pain to make all those stupid little checkboxes. Okay, but the rest is kind of good. And I think it's actually, I'm doing this to remind you about this program that's really out there, so you can, now it says it's putting them in row 200, so I'm doing this one more time, and while it's doing this, I think I'm going to stop the video. Goodbye.